Welcome to The Courage Effect. I'm Suzanne Weller, and this is a show about growth and unleashing what's possible. You will hear inspiring stories about what courage looks like, how we navigate what's getting in our way, and the opportunities that surface when we choose courage over comfort. Let's get started. Hello, hello, hello. It is Suzanne, and welcome to The Courage Effect. Today is a big deal because this is the 50th show of The Courage Effect. So I want to give a woot woot to everybody who has been a part of making it happen. And I want to also give that to you for listening. Today's show is going to be a bit of a departure because in the celebration of our 50th show, I am going to be departing from our regular format and throwing down our first courageous challenge. We've been having great conversations on this podcast about the role that courage plays in our lives in all forms, shapes, and sizes. It can be something really small, just a small move to go outside of your comfort zone. It can be something that's a little more risky, or it can be something that is a big, bold move. And you've heard all sorts of those stories. I've shared some of my personal ones and the various ways how we can thread courage into our lives where we don't necessarily think of it as a courageous act. I started the show to spread what I call courageous contagion. I really want all of us to think about how can we be a bit more courageous every day to challenge the way that things are done in the status quo. Change can happen in our world. We see it happen. Sometimes there's too much of it happening. But if we want to create positive change, and if we want to potentially look at how things are done and we are not happy with it, ultimately, it's up to us. Creating positive change is something that we need to take responsibility for and move forward. This courageous challenge is a way that we can actually make a difference for us and for others. If you've listened to the show and you have heard a story that has inspired you, or there's something that has been nagging at you that you've been wanting to do, if you've wanted to step out of your comfort zone, now is a great time for you to do just that. I am throwing down what I'm calling courageous challenges, where there's a specific thing that I am going to invite you to join me in doing over the next month. It's a great way for us to try new things and for us to cheer each other on in the process. These monthly courageous challenges will be called Courage Up. I want to spark your curiosity and make you think about what's possible when you bring more courage into your life and connect you with people to cheer you on. So think of me as almost a kindred explorer, where I'm walking alongside you to take a different step. We are on a path and I want you to veer off of it, or maybe walk on the edges, not in the middle, or maybe just change your pace, even go faster or slower. But do something different and explore things in a new way. Please become an explorer with me on this courageous challenge and the ones that we're going to be rolling out every month moving forward. So, where do we start? Our last show was with Dr. Jeremy Nobel, and we talked about social disconnection and loneliness. His book, which is called Project Unlonely, Healing Our Crisis of Disconnection, the last chapter is entitled A Call to Connect. And I am so inspired by the name of that chapter that is going to be our first courageous challenge. I would like all of you to think about who is a person that you've been maybe wanting to get in touch with and haven't. Maybe you've heard their name come up in conversation. Maybe they've just come up in a way in your brain and you've thought, oh gosh, I wonder how that person is. Or maybe it's the other side where you left things on a note that you are not too pleased about. But I'm sure that there is somebody that you want to reach out to. This is going to be the challenge, reaching out to a person that you haven't spoken with in the past couple of months, or maybe even the past couple of years, to start a conversation or maybe just let them know that you're thinking about them. It can be a text, it can be a phone call, it can be an email, it can be an IM, it can be whatever is most convenient for you and however you can best get in touch with this person. But the whole goal is for you to rekindle a connection. Maybe you've heard that there's somebody in your life that might also be challenged right now and could really benefit from a friendly conversation. I know that when I get a text or a call or a note from somebody that I haven't talked to in years, it can be such an invigorating experience. It's just so wonderful to know that I popped into somebody's mind and they took the time to reach out to me. And I love doing that with people as well. I know that just sending them a quick note, just checking in, can make a really big difference, not only for me in sending it, but for them as receiving it. We tend to overthink these things. We tend to, we prioritize. We have so many different priorities in our world. Keep it light. It doesn't have to be this heavy conversation. It can be a text, it can be a quick ping like, hey, just thinking about you, hope that you're well. But, it's also when we overthink, is it worth the effort? Is this a relationship that you want to maintain? And if it is, do it. Pick up the phone or however you're gonna be reaching out and move forward with it. If it's a relationship that you'd rather keep in the rearview mirror, keep it in the rearview mirror. This isn't the one that you're gonna actually wanna do. But so much of the time, we just don't pick up the phone, we don't write a text, or we don't send an email because we don't prioritize the connections. And maybe we're waiting for the other person to do it. I know that there is somebody that you have been wanting to reach out to. We all have this. There's somebody that we would love to reconnect with. Figure out who that person is, send them a note, and commit to actually reaching out to them in the next 30 days. What do we lose by not reaching out? Potentially, our relationships can fade, become less strong, or they might even vanish. And I have to tell you, as somebody that lost a number of dear people in my life last year, I want to make sure that I'm reaching out to people that I care about. And it doesn't mean that I'm going to be doing it every single day, but there are people that I have really been thinking about, or they've come across my LinkedIn feed, or I've heard them in that conversation with somebody else. They are people who I want to maintain a relationship in some way with, even if it's just as a weak tie. But I want to reach out to them. I don't want to lose those relationships. So I'm challenging you to think about, what are the relationships that are worth investing in? Come up with the name, prioritize it, and I look forward to hearing your stories about how you did this in the next 30 days. Join the Courage Effect community and let's all come together to courage up. We want to hear from you. Tap into this community and share your stories. The best way of doing that is either on Instagram under The Courage Effect or my account, Suzanne N. Weller. You can also find us on Substack at suzanneweller.substack.com. And if you want to reach out to me directly via the contact form and our website, that is thecourageeffect.com. All of these links will be in the show notes. I am excited to see what is on tap, what all of you will uncover and do as a result of this, and let's share our stories. It's going to be amazing. Let's turn up the volume on courage. Let's do it together. This is your call to courage. Come on, everybody. Courage up. The Courage Effect is brought to you by Weller Collaboration. We partner with individuals, teams, and organizations to enhance leadership, increase agility, and build effective teams. More information about us is available via the links in our show notes. Please spread the word about the Courage Effect. Rate and review your favorite episodes on iTunes or your favorite podcast platform. Share with your colleagues, family, and anyone in your universe who might be inspired by a good dose of courage. If you have feedback or stories to share about the show or would like to apply to be a guest, please contact us via our website. Benny Mathers is our producer. Dave Nelson composed our theme music. Alex Sandyforth is our administrative maven, and I'm your host, Suzanne Weller.